In this class, in the business world, and in your day-to-day lives, you're going to have a need to find information. There are many ways to find information. Here is probably not one way you'll do it. Instead, you'll most likely do it using a search engine and the internet. In the summer of 2008, Google reported that there were over 1 trillion unique web addresses in their database. In June 2011, the Wall Street Journal reported that there were 1 billion unique visitors per month just to Google's websites. And Google is just one of several search engines out there. In June 2011, the website, theweek.com, posted an article with information about Google's record-breaking traffic. There were 180 million unique visitors to Google-owned sites in just the month before, up 8.4% since the last year, and up from the 496 million that visited these sites in the entire year of 2006. Developing countries such as India and South Africa comprised almost 28% of the visitors. Additionally, 200 billion minutes were spent on Google sites in the month of May, up 13% since the past year. It's important that we realize that all information is not of equal quality. Of the trillion websites, some are extremely accurate and some are total nonsense. It's critical that we know how to evaluate information quality or where the information comes from when using search tools if we're to make valid decisions. The number of unique pages on the web is mind-boggling, and clearly, all of those pages can't have the same level of quality, authority, or accuracy. As you use the web for research, whether for personal or business purposes, it's very important that you're able to evaluate a web page's reliability. The University of California, Berkeley Library has excellent advice for those of us doing research on the web. Train your mind to think critically, even suspiciously, by asking a series of questions that will help you decide how much a web page is to be trusted. You'll find a large number of sites that discuss techniques for evaluating web resources. Most are written by librarians or educators. The following tips are gleaned from a number of those sites, along with a dash of personal experience. Who is the author? You can find this information usually in the Contact Us section of a website. What are the author's professional credentials? Does it appear that they are qualified to speak on the topic? Does the author have an agenda, bias, or an axe to grind, or are they able to present the information from an objective point of view? What evidence is given to support the author's claims? What sources does the author reference? Do other authors or sites offer more evidence to support this author? Many people suggest you should have at least 3 credible sources agreeing on something in order to trust it. What evidence can you find that refutes this author's claims? Where is the information published? Is it a personal web page, lobbying organization, special interest group, governmental organization, news organization, etc., etc.? Original sources are usually more trustworthy than secondhand information. For example, a web page that refers to news on the New York Times is less authoritative than the actual NewYorkTimes.com page. And sometimes the information gets interpreted differently as it passes from source to source. Ever heard of the telephone game? Depending on the number of people who pass information on, you may find that the ending message has very little resemblance to the starting message. Looking at an opinion piece at the Washington Post that cites a Gallup poll is not as good as looking at the Gallup poll itself and drawing your own conclusions. The Gallup poll is just the facts, without the added opinion of someone else. How recently was the web page written or updated? This can usually be found by looking at the bottom of the page on a website or the top byline of an article. Has newer evidence or information superseded that given on the site? Are there dead links out there? Is there other evidence of the site being abandoned or out of date? If you keep these things in mind, you'll be successful at finding valid and quality information.